There was this guy. Who the fuck is Jeremy Siegel? Anyway?
He's a professor at UPenn at Wharton School of Business.
There we go. So this professor at UPenn said what everybody's thinking, and he just really went off. He was on MSNBC the other day, and let's listen to a bit of this.
Money supply data, which is going to show the greatest decline in 5 months that we've had in the post-war period. I mean, if he looks at any of the monetary or financial indicators, he can't say, oh, we have to keep them on. I mean, at his press conference, he said, we have to get real rates in the positive territory. They're in positive territory for every maturity.
He's talking about
for the first time in years. We're already there. I thought that was the most uninformative. And no one was asking him a hard question. How do we have 3.2 million new workers and GDP going down? What does that mean? What does the record decline in the money supply mean? I mean, what does the collapse in commodity prices mean? What is the lag construction of these?
I love that he's got transitions lenses.
Oh, of course, that's the old guy move.
Keep going, please.
That are 40% of the core inflation, which are going to filter through inflation for the next 12 to 15 months. Is that what he's looking at? Why is he looking at that? That's not an accurate view of what housing inflation is.
And I mean, it's nice to see him screaming about it. And now, you're seeing some of these things in mainstream sources
about like what the fuck is the Fed doing?
What the real consequences of this will be. Yeah. But
the most powerful man, unelected man, Jerome Powell.
People have been talking about what the Fed's doing and their plan for a while now. It's just no one has been listening.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see this guy. I mean, I don't, because this is just 2 minutes, but I think he went on for a while. But, there was one video I saw where he's talking about, he's like, they're talking about lowering wages when you're seeing record corporate profits. You know what I mean? He's like, why does this have to come off the backs of employees? I don't understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it's truly insane. It's clown world. Can we go back to the outline, please? There was Stan Druckenmiller, my favorite trader guy. He was interviewed at a conference the other day, and he's saying something that's very pertinent, which is, this is a quote from him: all those factors that cause a bull market, they're not only stopping, they're reversing. We're in deep trouble. You don't even need to talk about black swan events to be worried here. The risk reward of owning assets no longer makes a lot of sense. Basically, everything that gave us the bull market is being reversed. We had quantitative easing, easy money via low rates, free movement of trade, geopolitical peace. All of that is like going in the other direction. So, shit's not good. But as we were saying yesterday, it feels bad because we're coming down off of such a big high, right?
When you look at all the charts that people are throwing up, it always looks like this steep drop off, but then if you pull out a little bit, you can see everything going absolutely apeshit for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now it looks like it's returning.
It's a reversion to the mean kind of thing. So like, for example here, Goldman Sachs has their year-end target for the S&P 500 at 3,150. Relative to the post-COVID high of 4,800, that's a big drop. But even if it happens, even if we see 3,150, it would still be in line with historical averages for bear markets. So it's like, it's all kind of, I'm just trying to give some perspective here so that you don't fucking panic. And that's the thing too, is everybody talking about a recession, you're going to fucking will it into existence. Everybody needs to chill out, especially you, Jerome Powell,
I was going to say,
mouth.
It's not other people willing this into existence. There's a handful of people willing it to.
Yeah, and I fucking hate them. If you're Jerome Powell, I don't understand what you're thinking. At this point, we all know that you're trying to stop inflation, right? But you can only stop inflation. You can only, your tools are so limited. You can only affect so little. Your tool, you're going to build a house with a fucking screwdriver, right? Maybe, and a hammer. I don't know. But
that's all it takes, folks.
They're hiking rates into market conditions where historically they would pivot and pause or lower rates.
Yeah, but he said they're going to keep going.
Yeah, and that leaves us incredibly vulnerable, right? Because their hikes could potentially crash the economy while we still have high inflation.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that. They can't fix the other causes of inflation. They can't fix supply chains. They can only affect the demand side. And that's their tactic. Like at this point, all Powell would have to do is say, okay, we're going to pause. We're not going to hike anymore. That would be enough. That would cause enough momentum and positivity to the upside in stocks that could have a reverberating effect elsewhere throughout, corporate America and whatever the fuck parts of the economy, that everybody would at least be able to take a breather and go, okay, the thing that is causing interest rates to skyrocket and the fucking dollar to skyrocket and stock prices to drop and everybody to collectively lose $9 trillion of wealth that has just been erased. He has the power to at least put a tourniquet on and stop the bleeding, but he's fucking not, because he thinks that the only way to stop inflation is through the rising interest rates.
Right.
Suck my dick, Jerome Powell.
Holy
Suck
shit.
my dick, butthole mouth.
Also important to note that $9 trillion of American wealth, that's $8 trillion of it was from the top 10%.
Good.
Fuckers.
Fucking Mark Zuckercorn with your $70 billion lost.
They'll say the number. They're like, well, $9 trillion. So people are going to be pulling back spending, and then they're like, well, that's all coming off rich people. They're still going to spend.
I'm so mad, man. Powell waited so long to pivot. He waited too long so that the medicine that the market needed would have the worst effect on it. People were saying for the longest time, why are you still keeping interest rates at rock bottom when the stock market has surpassed the pre-COVID levels, when everything is looking rosy, when employment is plummeting? You're delaying the inevitable, and you're making that inevitability all the more painful when you finally do it.
Right.
So that's why I say again, suck my ass, Jerome Powell.
Maybe he will.
God.
Don't I kind of look like I could be his son now?
Yeah.
Dad?
My dad runs the Fed.
Dad, stop raising interest rates. This is crazy.
Can I have $5,000, please?
Dad, I'm behind on rent again. But seriously, with the interest rate.